train, for its type, is the most powerful vehicle on land. And the engines of Sodor are the power behind the docks, industries and branch lines that make up the world-renowned Northwestern Railway. These are the stories of Sodor.
Are you sure you don't mind, Skarloey?
Not one bit.
It's just, your railway has done so well since you've had it. I'd hate to take it and then for something to happen.
Your concern is touching, Toby. Don't worry. If something does happen, heaven forbid, we'll get through it. Besides, it sounds like the lads on the MSR need this more than Rheneas and I.
Ah, you're a trooper, Skarloey. Thank you.
My pleasure. Oh, and if you see Clive anytime soon, would you tell him thank you for giving us this lamp in the first place?
Not a problem. Well, I best be on my way. The sooner I get this to the MSR, the sooner their fortunes can turn around.
Good luck, Toby.
Does nobody else find it terribly ironic how we have a slate mine on our line and yet have to rely on another railway to deliver said material to us?
I don't see anything ironic about an accident that has caused said mine to close.
How serious was the damage anyway?
Some of the track needed to be replaced and the winch took some damage when the trucks broke loose. Repairs on both have been slow going, I'm afraid.
Would they progress more swiftly, I wonder, if Stanley weren't here?
Andreas!
Duke, with all due respect, none of this happened until he arrived. Lest we forget, he was the one who first acknowledged he brings misfortune.
I'll concede the timing can't be ignored. But that still doesn't mean he's responsible. What I do know is you had no right to make that generator remark.
I know. I did apologize to him. Whether or not he's jinxed, at a minimum, you lads have had a run of bad luck lately. Fortunately, I've brought something from the Skarloey Railway that might help.
What sort of something?
I'll tell you when Stanley gets here. Well, we won't have to wait much longer. Here he comes now.
Well, Duke, here I am. What did you want to see me about?
Not me. Toby. He says he's got something that might help this little jinx problem of yours.
A scrapper's torch? Sounds like a perfectly good idea to me.
Don't be morbid, Stanley. All right, Toby, what have you brought?
My guard's bringing it up right now.
Ah, of course. Why didn't I think of that? Brilliant, Toby.
It's a lamp.
Duke, is this some kind of joke? There's nothing funny about this lamp, Stanley. It's magical, I tell you.
A magic lamp? So, you rub it and a genie pops out? Duke, are you feeling alright? Ha 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 ha. He doesn't mean that literally, Andreas. He just means its effects are magical. You mean outside of illuminating darkness? Quite. It's a lucky lamp, and it has brought good fortune everywhere it's gone, including here. It's been here before? When was that?
Before you arrived, Andreas. And let me tell you, it really does work.
I can also attest to its effectiveness.
Well, at the risk of playing into this potential joke, how do you mean?
It's quite the story. Would you like to hear it?
Sure. And this was the story that Toby told. Prior to the First World War, Sodor's main line began at Vickerstown and went only as far as Knapford. When the war began, the decision was made to extend the line to Aylesborough for a number of strategic reasons. First, to link up with the Mid-Sodor Railway. Second, to exploit the coal deposits that were recently discovered near Marston Heights. And third, to connect the island's most populated centres for defensive purposes. By great chance, the war's beginning coincided with the closure of the Sodor and Mainland Railway. I did once mention its 3 engines were bought by the island's various industries, but this was only after they were first charged by the government with spearheading this massive extension. The trio of highly experienced, hard-working engines got stuck into the project. The rest of us also helped, either by delivering supplies to the various sites or double-heading the longer work trains. But I'm sorry to say, the project was not at all an easy one. Slated to take only 18 months to complete, this didn't happen as the planners had woefully underestimated the terrain we needed to work through. Furthermore, shortages of fuel and raw material impeded the workmen's ability to lay down the track. There were also a number of accidents and a couple of injuries. Without doubt, the most serious incident I would partly witness when I arrived at one of the work sites to find a couple of police officers present. Did you see the perpetrators at all? Even a glimpse?
No, sir. I told you, they came at me from behind. I felt this bump on the back of me head. Next thing I know, I'm waking up with a mouthful of dirt for me breakfast.
Right. We'll do what we can. Thank you for your help.
I say, Neil, what's going on here?
Another day, another disaster for the project.
What's happened this time?
Last night, someone broke into that shed and thought they'd help themselves to the dynamite that was being kept there.
Dynamite? How much did they get?
About £10.
Whew. Blimey. That'll make for a massive bang. Who could have taken it?
I'd like to think a couple of hoodlums playing a prank, but you just never know.
Phew. And to think I wasn't already irritable about this morning's news.
Why? What's happened?
I heard our lads failed to break through the lines at Passchendaele.
Why am I not surprised? That Field Marshal Haig is an idiot. Although, I'll bet he succeeded in moving his drinks cabinet 6 inches closer to Berlin.
Yes, I'll bet you're right there. My merriment was short-lived, however, as I couldn't help but wonder who could have taken that dynamite and why. Come the following morning, I would stop wondering.
Sind Sie sicher, dass Ihre Angaben korrekt sind?
Sie fragen mich das jetzt?
Jacob!
Ja, die Tanker sind in der Nähe des Kai. Gut, lass uns gehen.
Keep the motor running, Andrews. Don't you worry, I will.
Schnell! Versteck dich!
Das war knapp.
Komm schon.
Hier sind sie, wie versprochen. Gut, lassen Sie uns das Dynamit platzen und...
Oi! What do you think you're doing? What was that, Mike? Them two! Scheiße! Lauf! Hey! Stop! Andrews! Go! Go!
Crikey, that didn't sound good. No, it didn't. Come on, Keith, we better go take a look.
Blimey! He hit the wall hard. Better make sure he's alright. Well, he's out cold. What was that? It sounds like someone's in the back. I'll go check. Crikey! What's wrong? There's two more blokes back here, and... is that... dynamite? Dynamite? Good lord, what have we got here?
The answer was an attempt at sabotage by 2 German spies and their British collaborator. All 3 were transported to Elsbridge Hospital for treatment. Throughout their convalescence, they were interrogated by police, and the moment they recovered, they were thrown into Knapford Penitentiary, where they lived out the rest of the war and their lives. The dynamite they stole was recovered, as was the lamp that had foiled their escape, and it was extremely bizarre. Nobody had ever seen it before, nobody knew where it came from, and nobody knew how it ended up where it did. For the longest time, these questions would remain unanswered. And because no one claimed ownership of the lamp, it got passed about, somehow making its way to one of the work sites along the extension. This was the best thing that could have happened for the project. The site in question was about to start blasting to clear a way for the tracks. Not only was this hazardous job completed in record time, it was done without any setbacks. From then on, the project suffered no further delays, with every construction deadline met. It didn't take long for the workmen to associate their newfound progress with the lamp itself, as it did seem good luck followed it wherever it went. Even someone as skeptical as I was back then about the supernatural couldn't outright decry this as coincidence. The line eventually reached Aylesbury. A few days later, the First World War ended. The victory celebrations were extraordinary. Up to that point, none of us had ever felt such relief. The years went by and the world recovered from that terrible conflict. The Railway Act would be passed, the Big Four established, the middies and nourices would come to Sodor, and the lucky lamp continued to circulate, finding its way to the Mid-Sodor Railway during the autumn of 1923. How are you feeling, Duke?
Fine. This is such a bother.
I know. Still, this sort of thing is what keeps you on the rails.
I understand the reason, Pat. Doesn't mean I like it. I hate getting old.
Don't we all? Hello, Grandpuff. Are you short of huff?
Nothing of the sort. This is routine maintenance.
Routine maintenance, eh? Getting a little long in the piston, are we, Grandpuff?
Such wear and tear is the mark of an engine accustomed to hard work. You should learn from my example, youngster.
Oh, I certainly will. And when the time comes that you've passed it, don't worry, we'll take care of you in case you break down.
Break down? Me? Humph! That'll be the day. My word. Atlas, what's wrong? Why the long face?
One of the workmen didn't show up at the quarry today.
Who?
Bob Mackenzie. Not Bob! I'm afraid so. His wife said he never returned from his morning hike. They're combing the hills for him now, but haven't found anything.
My goodness, that's terrible. We best make sure to keep our eyes open.
You got any words of wisdom, Grandpuff?
Don't assume the worst has happened until you can prove it. It's not much, but it's better than nothing.
Penny for your thoughts, Duke.
You don't want to know my thoughts, Pat.
I wouldn't have asked if that were true. Are you worried about Bob?
Of course. He's such a good man. You know he has a wife and 2 children, right?
I do. Why?
It's just, if something has happened to him, how are they going to get by? You think the Great War hadn't already stated that the good are always the first to suffer? What was that?
Aye, 'tis and all. Something's fallen out of one of the vans.
Is that a lamp? How did that get on board?
Search me. I didn't load the trucks.
I I guess it doesn't matter. Let's just pick it up and... Hold on. What's that?
What's what?
Down there, in the ravine. You see that?
I see an orange blur, and I think that's a man. Goodness! I'll scramble down and have a look. Are you sure, John? I grew up in these parts, Pat. I can climb this terrain blindfolded. Of course, I'm not as young as I used to be.
Yep, okay. Alright, easy now. Easy.
Okay. Good Lord. It's Bob Mackenzie!
Crikey! Is he alright? He's out cold! I think his arm is broken! Wait there! We'll call for help at the next station! Right, yeah?
The way I hear it, what little genuine doubts there were about Duke's prowess were thoroughly silenced that day, given how swiftly he tore down the line to Ballamoody, where he informed the station master of Bob Mackenzie's situation. A rescue team was dispatched immediately. It was very difficult extricating him from that ravine in his condition, but the rescuers persevered and were able to bring him to Falcon, who delivered the injured workman to Arlesdale Hospital, where, I'm pleased to say, he made a full recovery. The manager of the slate quarry personally commended Duke for his eagle eye and hasty raising of the alarm. The MSR's number 1 took it all in stride, humbly stating that the lamp deserves some credit given its timely escape from his truck. Stewart and Falcon would sing of Grandpuff and the magic lamp, but they, like everyone else who's ever possessed it, would come to respect its effects.
Wait, how did the lamp go from here to the Skarloey Railway? Oh, that's a story for another day. Surely I've hammered home the point by now that this lamp is lucky.
You tell a convincing story, Toby. Still, I'm a little skeptical.
Just try it, Stanley. I promise, once you start using it, your jinx will go away faster than you can say, fire!
I don't think that's the expression, Andreas.
No, I mean literally, there's a fire!
Blimey! Looks like we've got work to do, lads! Let's move! Alright, terrific work, lads.
I'll say, they were in top form.
Agreed. That barbershop has been there for over 20 years.
Are you so sure this lamp brings good luck, Toby?
Yes, it most certainly does.
How can you say that, given what we just saw?
Andreas, wouldn't you call it good luck that a fire broke out within spitting distance of a fully staffed fire train?
I'd call it good luck if that fire never happened to begin with. But I take your point.
Alright, Toby, I'm convinced. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
From that moment on, Stanley was no longer bothered by his jinx. The MSR's goods engine caused no further problems and suffered no accidents. The lucky lamp was working overtime that day, let me tell you. Not only had the barbershop suffered minimal damage, the workmen also located the crate that was containing Stewart's replacement funnel. Needless to say, the MSR's number 4 was thrilled by this, and was only too happy to work alongside Stanley from that point on. You know, upon reflection, I realized I made a mistake in a previous story, in which I told Percy the extension to Alsborough took only 2 years, instead of the 4 it actually did. Huh, I must have gotten that mixed up with the time it took to build the Farquhar branch. I must remember to tell Percy that next time I see him. Oh, at my age, I should be thankful such a misstep is the worst thing I've ever suffered. And my advanced years have ensured that I have a great many more stories to tell. But for now, that's all there is. There isn't any more.